when it says wrecked you, that means you got someone out of the game.
We're live on Insta. Hello everyone. What's going on? Welcome back. Pretty up, down, chop week. I told you guys, keep getting that cash built up. I told you guys, whoever listened is smiling today. Whoever didn't listen is not smiling. But we got SPX here. This is a very toppy pattern, like I told you. This is SPX, not SPY. We usually do SPY. I also watch SPX during the day. It's a little more complicated. The numbers are bigger, so I don't really tell you guys to watch them. SPX right now, everything looks decent still. We're still sitting on top of the 21-day moving average, which is 4314. We closed today at 4327, so we still got 13 points down to touch that 21-day moving average. Everything looks fine. SPX still bullish. Everything's still great. Reason I was telling you to raise cash was because of the SPY, actually. Let's go to SPY. Remember, every single day for the last 8-9 days, I've been telling you we're at the top of the channel. We're going to pull back. We're going to pull back. We're going to pull back. Raise cash. No need to jump in puts yet. Just raise cash. I think end of last week, I started taking some IWM puts because it looked way weaker than the rest of the indices. I got that one-of-a-kind My Stock Life red hat on too. You know when that comes out, you got them puts coming. So we nailed IWM 20% first round. Second roll was 660%. Third round was 100%. And then I did not roll them again. I just kept 5 of the 5 contracts just to keep an eye on it. If I get a fat bounce, I'll probably jump back into those puts with some size. But we have to see how Monday reacts because right now, as far as SPY, QQQ, and XLF go, well, let's talk about SPY right now because I haven't seen QQ in them. SPY is oversold on the 1 hour. So when indexes tend to get oversold on the hourly, they tend to bounce fat. So it doesn't mean that they're going to bounce right back to all-time highs. It just means they're going to bounce. So we have to see where they bounce until and if they roll over again or if they set a higher hourly low and then continue up and change the trend. So if what you do is you just switch to an hourly. You see the RSI is way down here at 31, right? So what happens is you go back in history, you see every time the hourly was oversold, look at the bounce that came after. Right back here, look at the bounce. Oh, this bounce was weak. This was not completely oversold. We had one more dump and then we got oversold. And then just scroll back. Look at this. Right here, oversold. Look at the rip after. Oversold, look at the rip after. Oversold, look at the rip after. So it's been the year of the V-shaped recovery. Everyone knows that. Jerome Powell just turns his printer up to full speed when stuff like this happens. So let's see what he does this weekend. I expect a lot of bad news this weekend. I'm expecting the Delta variant to get some legs, the Lambda variant to get some legs, some United. They'll make another one, Southwest variant, whatever. We'll see what happens. Another lockdown coming. Again, just conspiracy theories from me. Most of them come true. I need to make a special little skit about conspiracy theories. But QQQ is still in this channel. Everything looks fine. We did pull back hard. Like I told you, you need to be watching QQQ and XLF every day to see what SPY is going to do. QQQ just straight down all day. Little relief bounce here around 12 o'clock lunchtime when hedge funds went to lunch. But you see where we kept rejecting is this big volume shelf around 360 level. There's a lot of orders, a lot of people's stop losses, buy orders, sell orders, whatever. Once we broke through that volume shelf, it was almost impossible for us to get back through. We got a little temporary bounce and then rejected right off that level, 360. Another dump, another relief bounce, again rejected right off that volume shelf at 360 and then straight down for the rest of the day. So QQQ was weak today. XLF was super weak today, which is why SPY was super weak today because both sectors were weak today. That's why SPY dumped so hard. XLF just straight down all day as well. So nothing really telling there. Nothing really telling me we're going to reverse quite yet other than those hourly oversold plays. We need to watch where those oversold plays go. One thing you do need to watch out is for Thursday's lows. So IWM obviously took out last Thursday's lows. Last Thursday's low on IWM was 217.85. That's why I was covering a lot of my puts there. Because there was also another support that's coming from actually January is when this support was established. So it was a strong support. We crushed right through it. Today is a bearish engulfing candle, IWM. XLF Same thing, rejected the same resistance that I've been talking about. We're just range bound on XLF. There's no trade here. QQQ. And when I say trade, you can scalp these names. What I'm talking about is a macro trade. Like if you want to hold a swing trade for 2-3 weeks, there's no trade on XLF right here. There's no way of telling me where this goes. There's a huge volume shelf on top. There's a 50-day moving average on top. Below, there's 2 solid supports, and we're just within this range right now. QQQ, same thing. Like, there's nothing really to say here. It's still in the middle of the channel. Can't really play this one. There's a 21-day moving average underneath, top of the trend line channel on top. So right now, in the middle of the day, we got a fat bounce on IWM. I thought that we were going to reverse out of these IWM puts and take puts in something else, but I mean, doesn't go out. Look at what happened after. So they really don't like small caps. They don't like large caps. They don't like Amazon. Let's go into Amazon. We made a ton of money on Amazon. I made a ton of money on Amazon. Ricky made a ton of money. All of my stock life made a ton of money on Amazon on this ride up, right? What happens is you have to be able to switch your mindset. Once you see something bearish, you don't just keep buying the dip. Like, okay, I made 1,200% on Amazon in a day. It doesn't mean the next day if it dips a little bit, I'm going to buy more calls. You have to be open-minded. You have to know your upwards targets and your downwards targets. I'm the first one that was saying on a monthly chart, this looks like it could give us a 1,000-point move. And what did it give us? It's giving us a false breakout. So if Amazon closes below 35.50 this month, this was the biggest monthly false breakout you'll ever see in your life. But it is definitely possible. I told you guys for my puts, my target was 35.50. I did sell early. Just because I was not feeling too well this week, I wouldn't be able to watch them, and Amazon can run 100 points in a day like you guys know. So I got them early. But if we do bounce to 36.20, I might reload. If we bounce to 36.94, I might even reload more. So we're just watching this one now. Right now, it looks like a completely failed breakout. Coming right back down. No one cares. Even though like there's a bunch of thin air here. So it's so obvious that it was going to come right back down if it failed this volume shelf right here. Next level down is 35.50 like I said, which is the breakout level, but we can just go right through that all the way down to 3,500 actually. And if Amazon goes to 3,500, most people are screwed, and that's what the market always wants. It wants to screw the most amount of people. I sent a thing this morning, oh no, I sent it yesterday actually. I said Amazon is going to 3,550, Shop is going to 1,300, Apple is going to 145, and IWM is going to 215. IWM already broke 215, so that's super bearish. Amazon sitting at 35.73. We're only 20 points off. Apple was a big dump today. It's at 146.30, so 145 only $1 away. I mean, the only thing holding up the market was these big tech names, Amazon and Apple. Now they're coming back, and look at what's happening to the market. It's just dumping with them. So either next week we get rotation into growth, which are names that are not in the S&P and the QQQs, or we just sell off on everything, which both are a possibility. Be ready for both, I tell you guys. Your account needs to be ready either way. That's just how it should be set up by now, especially with all the classes and stuff we teach you at my stock life. Shopify failed breakout again, another one. So big breakout, pulled right back down under that line. Had a little rally, could not get past this 1534 ever again. Pulled back off it again. Broke the trend line to the downside, and now we have an inside day under the previous support. So it did retest the support today, looking for more downside, and there is thin air all the way down here to 1320. And we could possibly get to 1300. That's the big resistance level, as you see here, 1300, 1300, 1300. So let's watch Shop, see what it does. Shopify was a buy under 1,000. Okay, we went straight up to 1,500. It's a little bit of a run. So just keep an eye on the downside levels again. Don't get too excited. Zim just steady, chilling under this channel. We needed to get back into this channel. We got earnings August 17th. Our calls are August 20th. Not too worried. Might get a pre-earnings run up, and if we don't, I think earnings will absolutely smash. Shipping containers are on fire. I've done my research. You guys should read into it too if you're in the company. TSM, we took those lottos yesterday. This morning, they're up 35-40%. I was talking to someone in the chat. Didn't even have enough time to sell, so those went to zero. It happens. It's a lotto. Expect zero. No big deal. Made it back on puts. Right now, chart looks like dookie. Not gonna Nokia monthly chart looks fantastic the other day. It looked way more fantastic the other day when we were up here. Right now, it looks like it's coming back down. If it closes below this trend line at the end of the month, it's not a good sign. It's another fake breakout. It's hard for these names to run when the market's acting like this. So even the weekly, you see how many false breakouts? Right here was a false breakout, right here, and this one, let's see if it closes above the trend line. If it does, then I like it. If it doesn't, then whatever. CMLF, big trash. We made a lot of money on it. Rest of them went to zero. Couldn't care less. Facebook, just channel, range bound. Nothing really going on here. AMC, big dump. They ran it up after market, got overbought, and then just steady down all day. Too much volume shelves in here. It's going to have a hard time. If it breaks below where it is right now, on Monday if it opens lower, on Monday if it opens lower than 34.27, AMC is a very obvious short in my opinion. There's a lot of thin air down here. Keep an eye on that. Skills, I took a position today because there's two possible scenarios that can happen in this market like I was telling you guys. We can either rotate from big tech into growth names, or we can get bad news this weekend on COVID and everything can just pull back altogether. So I thought it was worth a shot. First of all, there's a support here on skills. Second of all, daily is getting oversold here. And third of all, if they rotate into growth, skills is one name that is coming all the way from $46. And today it was $14.35 at the lows. So let's see if we get a bounce on Monday. If we get a gap up on Monday, these will be probably worth 80, 90 cents. So almost a double just on Monday, and then we'll have the whole week. BAC, just an example of the banks crashing. Look at this, it's disgusting. Nothing more really to say. Banks are just untradeable right now. Target, we have puts for next week. Why do we have puts? Look at this massive run up. Scroll out to the weekly, it's just getting parabolic here. Straight up on target. And today looks like a reversal on the weekly. You see that big upper wick? That signals a reversal. Let's see what we get next week. If we do pull back, the first target is 238 on the 8th. If you want to do it, well, we only have next week, so I'm not going to use 238. And so we're going to use daily here. So 250.35 was the 8-day. Today we closed at 251.15. And the next target is 244.50. And then, so we're looking for 244.50 on target for our puts. Let's see what happens next week. See if we get some follow through. We're oversold, overbought on the daily, on the weekly, on almost every time frame. We're overbought on target. It's hard to catch these reversals. These are some of the hardest plays ever. But when the market is turning, you want to find these high flyers and you want to short them into the ground. So let's see what happens with target next week. We're already in the money on those, so we're green on those. Alibaba, a little rip at the end of the day, but everyone is getting excited. Look where it opened. It opened today at 214.48. It closed today at 212, and people were getting excited about this little pop at the end of the day. I don't know. That's called whatever. A little bonus one for you crypto degens. So Bitcoin's been hanging around these levels for a long, long time, okay? What happens usually is, like I said at the top, when I called the top and I called the crash, the longer it stays up here without making a significant move up, is the more chance there is of breakdown. Just like over here, the longer it stays down here without making a breakdown, there's more chances of it ripping up. And falling wedges are one of my favorite patterns. So right now, if you see this, if it gets down to the bottom of my wedge, I will start a position in Bitcoin. Not too heavy. I usually layer in 1/3 at a time. And so just keep an eye on that. You see I send my alert. Around a little bit under 30K, I will be buying Bitcoin. I think it's worth the risk to reward there. Falling wedges usually have a big breakout. Let me show you. I had one of my best trades of the year last year on a falling wedge by the name of JWN. I'll probably call this chart out every time. You see the wedge is already drawn. This is where I bought at $11.90, and you guys see the follow through. It went straight up to $42. That's a 4x on equity, and I had 500 calls on this. So this was probably my trade of the year. So every time I see a falling wedge, I just fall in love, and I just remember JWN. Thank you guys for attending. I feel a little bit better. Let's see what kind of news we get over the weekend. Anything is possible. Monday, we are oversold. We might get temporary bounce. Don't get scared. When you guys are playing something long and there's a little consolidation, you don't get scared. We taught you that. So when you're short and there's a little bit of consolidation, don't get scared either. Just flip the chart upside down. It's the same trade upside down. Have a good weekend. Stay safe. Don't drink too much. Work out.